Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with one of my favorite YouTubers and spiritual leaders, Eva Marquez. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Lauren, for inviting me. I was so excited because I love your YouTubes. I love the humor that you put out to the world. So thank you.
Thanks. Now, I found you from my dog that was sick because you had this amazing language of light stuff. How did you learn how to do the language of light?
Well, the language of light is something that I don't believe that we can learn, but it's something that we remember. Same everything like from the spirituality. There are the things that we are remembering from our past, not literally bringing here anything so profound and futuristic and new. So the one day I was washing the dishes, was living still in the Maine, was about 15 years ago, plus minus, and same as many people out there, I was trying to find my guide and see what is all this about the spirituality. And I started to speak this language, this beautiful language that makes me really cry and profoundly happy and sad. And it took a few years until I really learned what it is as the language of light, that it has a healing abilities. And then when it's connected with the intention, that healing is specific, like for the pets. So
Yeah,
that's how I came to it.
it's very beautiful. And when I heard it, I said, "Oh my God, this sounds so familiar." And it was like, and when I put it on for my dog just like was listening to it. It was crazy how pets understand it too.
Absolutely. So I had a two chihuahuas, have only one now. But whenever I would do meditation, they would like demand to be in the room. I was like, this is really interesting. They know what is going on. And then I started to hear from other people that they pets, they either get really crazy and hype up or they completely lie down, relax. And I says, well, why don't I try to make this just a meditation, the language of light? And kind of funny part is that at the time when I recorded that meditation, I did a lot of guided meditations. And I said, how do you do guided meditation for a dog or for a pet? Because they really don't care. Just sit down and relax. They either relax or not. So I think that was actually one of my very original first ones in the beginning when I started record only in the language of light. And I really, really like it.
I really love. I think one that I listened to it every day when my dog was getting his heart surgery was the asking for a miracle one.
Yes.
Is that like, do you get people writing you all the time about that one? Like how miracles have come true?
Yes. And I hear some of the stories that people write me like privately, and I go like, wow, this is really amazing. And what I think is amazing about it, it is not just my meditation or how I, design and record it, but I think the beauty is how the listeners join their own intention, their energy. So it's a co-creation of literally you as a listener who participate in this energy, who really set the intention, who really have that vision, feeling of it, what's going to happen. And then that meditation is just a guidance and connect you to the energies that are supportive to your wish, if it's the wish that is possible to manifest, or if it's in the right way to manifest. So that is all my work on the meditations, when they, when you are co-creator, when you are not just the passive, like, listen, meditation, everything's okay, and I wake up and I'm fixed. You have to fix yourself in the process. And what I'm sure that you have learned about this meditation is that then after that, that's where the magic that is starting to happen, when these opportunities start arising and the people come to your life and the signs and the symbols start showing up, and you have to follow them. You have to follow up with them. You have to act on that guidance that is given to you.
Do you have a favorite out of all your meditations that you like the best, or?
Do I have a favorite? So I do listen my own meditations. I really, and sometimes I go like, wow, this is really good. Because, which, I don't want to sound braggy. The most of them, when I record them, I don't write them down. I just sort of, go with the energy and let them flow. And my English is obviously not perfect. And then my husband goes like, that doesn't sound English, or that, he's like, try to be, help me out with it. I was like, you know what? It's already recorded. It's okay. It's, people who's supposed to get it will get it. But I like the one with the Essenes a lot, the connect with the ancient Essenes. And recently, so my favorite kind of like varies, I think, like with all of us. And one of them is also the relaxation, where there is, I think it's called the relaxation. Gosh, I don't even remember the name of it, where there's this beautiful picture of the blue lake. I remember the picture. But the energy is supposed to bring you further down into the future, which I like to think like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years in the future, where everything have happened, when we can look back at this life and see, well, how did it go? What did I do? And from that place, you can imagine that you have accomplished everything that you wanted to, because I do believe we do have a power to shift our life into any kind of the gear that we would like to.
I like that. We got a question. Carolina wants to know, where are you from?
Oh, I'm originally from Czech Republic.
Now, were you doing this energy work when you were there? Or did you start it here? When did you start doing it?
So I started here. I was born and grew up in the Czech Republic, former Czechoslovakia back then, and I moved to States into 1998. My biggest awakening. So same as everybody in the spiritual world, we tell you, like, we were born with the energies, but I don't have this beautiful story when you're helping people. I was a mess all the time between depressed and making the wrong choices in my life and trying to find myself. That was my story. But in the 2000, my biggest first awakening happened. And then the next one was the Lyme disease that really brought me into what I do today, which was about 13 years ago. So I learned a little bit here and there, but 13 years ago, I became serious about, if I want to heal, I have to learn. And I promised myself, if I will learn, if I heal, if I help myself to change my life, which was very dark, bleak, and depressive back then, I will help the others like me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
When did you learn the Atlantean healing methods? Because I see you're teaching a class about it, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, so that was a progression. I first started with Reiki, then I learned the Chios healing, Chios energy healing, which became my life goal, that I will teach something and focus on something, which I taught for about 9 years. It's a lovely, lovely healing method. But then I realized that I very much enjoy to consult all my students on their emotional problems and really looking at that soul journey. And there were so many memories and those downloads that you have to kind of figure out what you're going to do with them. And so I slowly started to developing this modality. And around that, I wrote 3 books, the Pleiadian Codes, 1, 2, and recently the 3rd one I just published. And so that was a progression of the few years. And I think it's a lovely modality.
So does that, do you do akashic records as well, or?
So I do akashic records a little bit differently. All my teaching is to empower you that you can do this. So instead of just focusing on the outwardly energies, when like we go here and perhaps we go to the series and join with the akashic record, I work with this energy with myself, my clients, and the people when we go within and we find it. Because if they look at the ancient book and scriptures and all kind of the messages we have from the past, many of these ancients speak that we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. So yeah, that's the right English, right? Microcosm of the macrocosm. Sometimes I totally mess up the words.
Very complex.
I'm sorry. I did have to practice quite a few weeks to pronounce it when I started to use these words. And anyway, so we'll go inside. So reading the Akashic records would be becoming a tree of the life and looking at your roots, because roots are representing to be connected with the earth and all our earthly lifetimes. So we go within and we observe all of that. So you can say that a part of the Akash is definitely stored inside of the earth. So we go and read the Akash, but in a way that we ask that the most important past life that we need to know about will come up and will show itself. And so you have some kind of the feeling or experience or this sort of idea pops in your head. Sometimes comes nothing, but majority of the time comes something. And we look at it as what happened, what is the trauma in that life, and then how we can heal it. We can't change our past or what happened to us. So the healing usually comes with acceptance, forgiveness, and giving ourselves love and moving forward. The beauty, what comes out of it, and this is what I really love about the soul healing. It's not only you find this interesting part about yourself, that you were killed. I don't know, you were the Knight of the Templars and you died this horrible death of the betrayal and, feeling that the God did not come to save you. And he says, like, that was really interesting. I was a Knight of the Templar. But there are energy behind it. If I'm capable at that moment to accept what happened, realize that feeling of the betrayal, forgive the people who I really trusted and may have been my brothers and have done it to me, and reconnect with that God's energy, which I call it the God, but it's literally the oneness. There's no one God just sitting up there on the chair and saying, like, you gonna go today, that I think is a misunderstanding on many parts. Anyway, when we go through that, then there's this whole another level of the energy of that life that opens. There are memories that Knight of the Templar had, and memories. Definitely was sworn to some kind of the secret and may understand the sacred symbols, initiations, or be guided to go to the places to regain that memory back. And that, I think, that's what I would call the soul healing. Heal the past, but also gain from the past. And if we gain from the past, with that energy, we can create a future, quite spectacular future, and totally different than is predestined for us.
Do you think it's better to heal your past lives than this life first? Or what do you think is the best way to heal?
It depends. I would say what comes in the moment. What is the biggest problem that's arising? Like now, we live in fears and kind of trying to come out of those fears, and we are afraid of what's going to happen and so much on. But then you just walk backward. I say it kind of like walking to the left side is the back, walking to the right side is forward into the future. So I walk backward and I realize, okay, I'm afraid. So I'm angry, or I have all this, low vibrational feeling. There's no shame in the feeling. A lot of spirituality teaches, we should just take it and release it. But how can I release something that I don't know? Why am I feeling, again, the anger? Let's pick up the anger. Anger is just the energy of the fear, and the energy of the fear is just something that I cannot control. So if I go back and I can, start looking at it, what is it that I cannot control? So for example, now, I'm stuck at home, right? As a COVID, we can go outside. And depending on what you do, what kind of the work you do, or what are other circumstances in your life, you may say, is it just something that I can solve here? Or does it remind me of something from the past life? Does it remind me of some life and I have to be hidden? Let's say, again, I think, Lauren, you must have lived around the Knight of Templars because they keep coming out at that time, 11th, 12th, 13th century. I would say it was 11th century and somewhere in the Portuguese. And it's funny, I was just watching this series from the Freddy Silva on the Gaia, and you fit in that story. So I think that was one of your past lives.
Oh, I gotta watch. Where is that series? I gotta watch it.
Yeah, I will. It's his second interview with Meredith. Gosh, I'm bad with the last name. And it's about the Knight of Templars.
Knight of Templars.
Knight of Templars. If you will Google Freddy Silva, Knight of Templars, it's going to pop out. Definitely lovely interview.
Now I have so I'm always in my head. Do you have tips for acting and just always kind of being on camera? I'm always am I doing a good job? Is there ways to get out of your head, or any tips for that?
Well, from the out of the head, we need to go down to the heart. There's no other way around that. And I think that the training will be with trusting yourself. And trusting yourself will come back into self-love, really accepting yourself, what you are doing, and feeling the happiness behind it. And obviously, now looking at your videos and what you do, you really love what you do. You are happy, like, there's a happiness. I keep laughing with your video. I was like, oh my God, that's just that quick thing. What I need, or what many people out there need. So when you accept yourself for who you are and how it is, then you can feel very comfortable with what you are doing. And when you share that love and the happiness naturally, it will help you relax about it. Of course, when you do the broadcast, we have to be trained. I look into the camera. This is how I am. That's how far I am. And there's some kind of a script, right, that we should follow. Like, I'm the same. But then another one, the part of me follow that. Another part of me trust me that this is it, what I really need to do, or what I was born to do at the moment. And I wasn't always like that. It takes, quite a training. And does that answer your question? I can totally go through more about it.
I'm listening. I'm like, oh wow, like I'm just listening.
Yeah. And it is a, good little practice. When you sit with the 7 colors of your chakras, it can take 7 minutes a day. When you wake up in the morning, go through the day, when you allow yourself to feel, sit with your red energy, open it up, your first chakra, and you sit down and say, how does it make me feel today? Do I feel safe or secure? Do I feel stressed out? Or, I may have do the interview with some people that I feel that, would that go right? Or we have a client that says, will I find the right answer? I'm really going to feel the past lives and figure out, why I'm not feeling safe. And all does it, can go to it says, I'll do my best and my best is good enough. And if I really try my best and if it just doesn't go the way as I would like it to go, then it's okay to say this is not, going well, and just this day is not for me, or this is not gonna go well. And there's no shame in that. When you sit with your orange, and that's your child, your inner child, the fun part inside of you. It's like, what my inner child, how is she feeling today? What she would like to do? What kind of the fun thing she like to do? And then your yellow center, your grown-up self, how that child transform in my grown-up self, how I will be this person who's supposed to make it in this world, who have other people to looking up at her, because as a popular person that you are with so many followers, people are looking up to you and they see you. I love your website name, to Goddess of Humor.
Goddess of Comedy, one of them. Yeah.
Goddess of Comedy. I was like, oh my God, I love that. And they look at you as a goddess, and then you are influencing them. And so why not? When you have your humor, when you have your honesty and integrity, what a blessing. What a blessing, for the people of all age and look at you and says, you know what? I want to be like her. And that's what you need to own, because I think that's the biggest compliment that we can receive. When the people look at you and says, I want to be like you. And I know that, sometimes the first thing comes like, you have no idea how many hours I work, how hard it is, what all I have to sacrifice. I remember, like, back in the years, it used to drive me crazy because people think like it can happen in the 2 days. I was like, no, it takes the years to build it up, right? There's so much of hours and hours and sacrifice behind it. But anybody can be like you. Anybody can be like us if they follow the pathway, if they put that hard work and honesty and integrity. And I do think that in the whole big picture is the biggest compliment that you can receive. And so you come to your heart and you says, okay, here I am. This is what I do. And how lucky I am. I actually doing something that I really enjoy. And I have an 18-year-old daughter who's just, deciding on the college. She's like, Mom, I don't know what to do. And I was like, do what makes your heart happy, because life gets complicated. We get caught up in all kind of the situation, and just the good paid job that we're going to pick up doesn't always have to turn out great, or the things happen. But if you do what makes you happy, all these long hours, all these evenings and early morning and so much on, they get easier, and we are filled with the happiness, and happiness is very important. And if you have fixed your lower 3 chakra, you understand them, once you come over your heart, then you can be such a great speaker. You can learn to communicate, and people not only hear you, but when you speak, you carry out the energy. And that, is the main thing of the language of light. Yeah, some kind of the jumble mumble words that sound pretty to me, but to some people may sound really crazy. But it's the energy that is behind them. It's the sound healing. So we don't have to sing, we can speak. And when you speak, the people up there, and they relax and they forget about their problems or the things, and it makes the world a better place. You express yourself and they perceive that healing. And I do think that's a part of the soul healing. So anybody who is up there, and we are the comedian, actor, coach, teacher, your voice and the sound of your voice is very important. And again, it doesn't matter if it's beautiful voice or not a beautiful voice, as some people would judge it. The energy of it that comes with it, the intention that comes from it, that what carries it, that what makes difference. And then, your mind and your idea, and that's where you are. So your energy, your energy power center, what we call it among the star seeds, would come here in your mind, in your third eye. That is where you kind of get your ideas and inspiration and kind of, get this download, like do this, do that. But there's too much of it, right? And your head's like spinning all the time.
I'm always trying to put other people in there, so it's not focusing on what I need to do. I'm like, I gotta take care of this person and do that person. Is this relationship working?
Yeah.
Why is this person in my head?
It's only that 1 to 3 minutes a day when you quiet it down, when you focus on the sound, or staring at the pen, or petting your dog. It doesn't matter what it is. When you say, I think only about this for the moment. That helps you to really, focus and clear your mind, and just to slow down a little bit, because always going 1,000 of mile an hour, it's not the best for us. It creates the energy crashes and kind of like catching up and depressions and highs and lows. So slowing down, saying, the world is not gonna end if I don't finish everything today. And, having your to-do list, having it reasonable, and finding the time for yourself is important. And the last 7 chakra, when you sit, with your beautiful violet center, a lot of people think like that's the connection, the divine, the guides, and, all that good stuff. Yes, it is. But if you don't trust yourself, if you don't trust your surrounding, if you don't trust in your future, you won't make it too much of connection with divine. Because you're blocking yourself, nothing else blocking you, you're blocking yourself. And, we live in a time when it kind of suggests like be afraid of everything. And yes, we have to be cautious and we have to follow the rules so we can all get better and go back to our lives. But we have to believe in the better, better days and better future, and in ourselves and what we do.
So talking about that one, I remember there was a video have like something attacking you when you sleep, and I was dating this guy, and one of my friends, she does Akashic Records. She goes, Lauren, he's using light power imaging on you. Have you had that happen? Is that like, what is that? Maybe you can explain, because I was so confused when I heard about that.
So was your boyfriend like stealing your energy?
She actually said he was using light power energy. I don't know.
I met people like that. And there are some people who definitely, so we would call them the psychic vampire, to simplify it. But there are definitely people that you can meet in your life who are more, most likely narcissistic kind of the personality, and who take your energy. Some of them do it consciously, and I met the people who do it consciously, which is shocking, because even I didn't expect that something like that could even exist, but it definitely does exist. And it's absolutely unethical. They want to take over your life, your energy. Is almost like they want to become you, but in their body. What you do, you cut the cords. You sort of, separate everything from this kind of the person. What happened in my case is that it was my former student, a male student, who would gift me a lot of little organates and the things and the stuff. And then one day I had a student who could see the energy. Like, I don't see the energy with my eyes, I see it more inside, but she could see like aura around everything. She goes, this organites have a very dark energy. I was like, it's impossible. The organite device, do you know what's the organite device?
What is that? Is it crystal?
No, it's like they made them in the pyramids or different kind of the shape. It's the mixture of the resin and the crystals and metal shavings. So it's a device that's supposed to cleanse the energy. It works as a like a vortex that takes the energy negative in, pulls it, and cleanse it, and the positive energy comes out. So it's like a torus. It's supposed to create a torus of the energy. And this one was creating, like, pulling the energy in, and things in our house didn't really go well. And I started to hitting the heads with my husband, and I was like, something. And I was telling us, like, something is wrong. And he goes, like, you just paranoid, from what you do and this. I was like, no, something is not right. And so we threw away all these devices or things that he gifted us. And it was interesting every time we did, and we didn't talk for several months. He would call like, oh, how are you? How's your life? Can I come over? I'm like, no, thank you. Be fine. So you separate the energy cords, when you call, for the energy. Says, I'm going to separate all my energy cords. Usually, so in your case, I think the energy was taking through this romantic sexual energy, which is very common in the couples. You sort of like imagine you're cutting it off and you are not sharing that energy with him. Now, there's no need for the justice, because, how do you explain it to somebody, or how you can even go to them and say, like, this is what you're doing to me, this is really wrong. People gonna look at you like you are crazy, right? Like those who don't understand, like I would understand, but many people don't understand. And then karma's gonna take care of him because karma is real. So we don't have to have a justice for everything. But
he did it unconsciously. He wasn't doing it consciously. So I was trying to figure out how I can stay friends with him and realize, how do you realize it's happening?
I think you realize that when you are with somebody, whenever it's the partner, whenever it's the friend or somebody that you meet, you come to the energy and there's something, first off, there's that is attraction, like a pulling energy. But then you realize that you feel really exhausted in these people's energy. So probably, when you guys met or something, you had a good time, then you come home and it's like, I have to go sleep for the next 3 hours. I'm just exhausted. I have no energy. Something's wrong with me. So that's a telltale sign when you have no energy. And when you start feeling this person, kind of feeling really depressed and having the talks that are not your talks, that you says, I don't think like that. And this keep coming to my head. So there's actually, so when he does it unconsciously with you, there's some connection from the past life. And perhaps he needs you to forgive him something. Maybe he have harmed you in the past life really bad. And, and so in a way, in this lifetime, he comes and goes like, I'm just exhausted. I can't take it anymore. Just not gonna see you. And, you can light just 3 candles and do a little prayer of the forgiveness. I accept that something happened and I forgive you. I accept it, that you are taking my energy, and I forgive you, and I want to be disconnected. Like, we are done. We don't own each other anything. And by the power of the love, I release whatever there is between us. And by the power of the light, by the 3rd candle, I evoke this beautiful light energy that will bring the good future to all of us, to both of us. Does it make sense?
Yeah. And you also have that awesome video to release negative soul contracts.
Yes.
Is that a good one for something like this? Or like, what is that one for specifically?
That would be definitely a good one for this, because you do have some negative soul contracts. You have been in the past life, you have harmed to each other or done some things that definitely didn't go through the soul energy well. So this one is a really good one, for that.
Now, do you recommend doing the meditations over and over, or is it like one time it works? How do you get the best from each meditation?
It depends from the person to person. Normally, I would say the one time is enough. I like to do a lot of things in threes, because 3 is the catalyst. So I do a lot of things in the threes. So if I have to do it 3 times, I do it 3 times. And let's say you do it once and you feel great. And then week 2, 3 weeks later, it comes on your mind kind of obsessively as it talks again. Then you says, oh, there's a meditation. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm good. I don't have to, do it again. So when you cut all these negative contracts and this energy, think of it like, you're cutting the legs of the octopus. And sometimes the octopus have these little hidden legs up there that try to, reattach itself, and you just have to cut them again. But most of it, what is reattaching, it's based to the fears, because you do this meditation and then you go like, did I do it enough? Do I have to do it twice? Do I have to do it 3 times a day? How does it gonna work? Our fears actually co-create this problem and co-create that you have to do it over and over again. So let's say, if I do it once and I'll go in that thing like, I do it once and this is it, and I have 100% belief like that, to create a miracle meditation. I 100% believe that this works.
Yeah.
It's going to work.
I did that meditation probably 1,000 times, probably just over and over again. And I told everyone, like, keep doing it. Everyone do it. Like, just listen to it over and over and over again. And it worked. It did. It did.
Yeah. I must have manifested my own miracles with it, so it does.
Does the soulmate one work? Have you gotten people saying that? Because I keep doing it and I don't see a soulmate. So I'm like, when is that one going to work? How do we get that one to work?
That's a good one. I can't tell you. I hear from the people that they meet their soulmates. Mm-hmm. It does take a time, though. I didn't hear a story yet that somebody did a meditation and next day they met the soulmate. So I'll be honest about that. But I do think I see it this way. When looking out for soulmate, I have done this one particularly for one of my clients who have found, excuse me, who have, she has looked for the soulmate and she have found him. I see it as a rainbow bridge. It's a bridge, between you and that person. You need to change your things in the life. This person need to change the things in his life, for example. And to more, you send out that attraction up there and clearing whatever it is, or changing your life, however, whatever you have to do, it's gonna connect you to your soulmate. And then again, you have to follow your signs and the symbols and put yourself out there. Don't be only afraid. We won't find a soulmate that when we are just watching the movie at home. So yeah, put it up there and send out that attraction. But you attract. So
yeah,
you probably need to move both of you on the different kind of the frequency. And he says, okay, where's the frequency? Where's the rainbow bridge? Need to meet you.
Now, I know you have to wrap up soon, but I wanted to ask you about the Harmonic Convergence, and maybe you can tell people about your group on Facebook.
Okay, so the Harmonic Convergence we have started in, I believe it was 2018, and we build up this group. The reason why we started talk is going to be a tiny little group that we're going to use just for a few months, and it grow in this lovely group. And we felt the call, Cheryl Sitz and I felt the call that we will recreate the original Harmonic Convergence which happened 30 years ago. The Jose Arguelles, John Valomalchidezek, and many others, like quite the people who stood up in the history, have followed the Mayan calendar and end of the what they call the 9 hells 30 years ago. And they counted the days and they organized the first worldwide meditation. And the purpose was to energize the crystalline grid or the earth with the unconditional love. And I really like that, because when we energize the earth with the unconditional love, or very, non-selfish kind of the intention, we don't control the outcome. We just put a positive energy there. Whatever has to happen, but the changes have to happen, they will happen. And that, if I have it right, was the 1987 in the August, where they did that for the first time. And if you look back into the history, how much have changed? I mean, at that time, I personally still live in the communist kind of the country. And, everything have changed over the time. incredible, the political and the life changes happened, the spirituality to grow. In the 80s, it still wasn't normal to be a psychic or a healist. Now it's quite a normal thing. So we recreated that. We created lovely meditations all around the world. We had people from Australia and Europe and Southern America. We have from everywhere to create these groups and energizing the earth with that unconditional love. And then we just kept the group because it's such a lovely, again, non-selfish group. When you go there and you don't talk about political stuff, what is happening and stuff, it kind of says like, not here, this is it. And it's the group to encourage each other in life, to give the love and the happiness, to look at the brighter side of the life than, that the negative alien's gonna come and eat me in the middle of the night.
Yeah, don't want that. Don't want that. And
Yes.
you have your books too on Amazon. What books are you promoting right now? Or
So right now I'm promoting my latest book. It's the Pleading Code Tree. It's the last book of the Pleading Code. And I have 5 books actually on the Amazon. The first one is just a starseed guide for those who are awakening and trying to find who they are and where they belong to. So like if you would read my starseed guide, I think you will find out that you are a Syrian starseed, that the Syrians are the wise teacher.
I heard Hadar. I don't know if that's
You heard what?
Hadar from like Beta Centauri is what I got from the woman who did my records. It's not Syrian though, right?
Say it again, the Beta
Centauri, Hadar.
Centauri. Okay, a lot of Syrians moved to the Centaurus, and so it would resonate with me.
Uh-huh.
And they co-create hybrids up there. I don't think you are the hybrid, though. I think that you will be the original one who says, oh, they're populating the Beta Centauri. Let's go up there. Let's bring the wisdom and the teaching, and let's help them out. That I can say, very, very adventurous. And I think the Centaurus is very kind of the adventurous kind of the planet. It's the different one than there's are different rules. The rules I think are more ease up. So you guys have more fun up there.
Oh, I got to read that book. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I'm read about the Centaurians too. And so it progressed into the teaching with the plating codes. And the last one I call the alien fragment because it sounds mysterious. But alien fragment is literally our heart and the mind connection. How we realize, it's not that we are becoming the aliens. We are the humans and we need to utilize all kind of the abilities that we have ever had in the past so that we may be connected in the future, which means to be connected to the wisdom of the heart and connected with our beautiful, intelligent mind, because we are stepping into the most advanced age that we have seen. Let's look what happened in the 100 years. 100 years ago, if you and I can go back there in the past time and look and says, oh, you're gonna be the Lauren and you're gonna be broadcasting all these things, and he says, it's impossible, up here to be the independent woman and do my broadcast and so much on, and I can choose who I'm going to marry to. So that's the alien fragment. What is it about? Finding our heart and mind connection, and it's written more in stories because I love stories. And I think that, I like the good ending stories and to have a good humor in them and so much on. So there's a beautiful story of the Maggie and Mikhail, what I call him, to weave into with other characters and how they are just the normal people working, and Maggie's running her coffee shop, and how they struggle, how they feel like she goes like, oh God, I will have to close down this store. And then she has a gentleman who comes out and says, you know what, you make the best coffee and you really give me that kindness and I feel like home here. And he gives her a donation that gets her over that next part, what she needs to, and believe in her. And it's a heart-touching story. And I hope that everybody who reads it, that they find themselves in it, and they says like, that either happened to me or that can happen to me, that I can find that happiness in my life.
I love that. Now, how often do you upload to your YouTube? Like, do you have your next video ready? Do you know what it's going to be?
Hi, good to be you, Lauren. I try to upload like every 2 or 3 weeks, and it's usually the energy guidance, and I just go with the flow, and whatever I feel that when there's this energy movement or we are having an up and down, so I give the update. So that's the most of it. I have a lot of plans for this year. In all my books, I always write the meditations, and so I'm getting a new microphone and set up for my recording to make it sound a little bit more professional. And I want to record some meditations from my books and just to make them available for free through the YouTube, because I'm so grateful for the people who buy my books. So there's a little bonus come out there.
Yeah, she has the best YouTube channel, guys, Eva Marquez. Make sure after the stream you go and you follow her YouTube, because her miracle meditation has made so many miracles happen for me. So you guys have to try it. If there's anything you want really bad, make sure you go do that. Also, the soulmate one, I do that one often, and talking to my past loved ones and connecting to your ancestors. There's so many cool meditations that you do. It's really awesome. Oh, and I wanted to mention before we go, it's your daughter's birthday, but she made these awesome, and I ordered them on her Etsy store, this awesome jewelry. This is moonstone and rose quartz. It's so, like, they're really amazing. It's really amazing jewelry. Did you teach her how to do this, or how did she do this?
Thank you. So I taught her. So when my very first business was to create a jewelry, the healing jewelry. So she grew up around me making a jewelry and so much on. I have to learn to speak to people and speak a little bit better English. So it wasn't my thing, but I had a lot of leftover. And Eva, my daughter's Eva as well as me, she always loved art and she always loved to make things. I was like, well, why don't you make these jewelries? Why don't you make that? And so she started to do that, and she became better than me at those, which I'm so proud and happy, to pass something that I loved, and she making it, and she put a love to it. And what really made me very happy and proud of her? So, my kids grew up around me talking about the angels and guides and aliens and so much on. But once they went over that age of 14, 15, goes like, Mom, kind of like, we don't want to really follow that and that. And I was like, yeah, that's okay. I respect your own opinion and vision. You don't necessarily, have to. And when she started to make this jewelry, she would bring them out into the sun and she would energize them. And I was like, yes, it really imprinted on her. And then I go like, oh, you're energizing your jewelries up there? Because that's what I, always did, and was teaching them. When you get the crystals, you bring them out into the sun and you release all the energies that it ever held from prior the owners or whatever they were. And you will energize it with these beautiful, loving energies and kindness and goodness. And like the moonstone has such a beautiful feminine kind of the energy, yet very empowering. I think it's, and it suits you so well. And the rose quartz, that love, unconditional love, and really feeling that I'm worthy inside. And so when she started to do that and, do her little touches to it, I was like, thank you. This is really amazing. So thank you so much for wearing her jewelry.
I love it. I love it. And she put like descriptions of what each of them was for. It's really, really, really pretty stuff. The only thing I saw, there are only one of each one, so they're all like super unique. Does it hurt her selling them? I was like, I felt bad. I was like, I'm buying it, but am I buying, like, is she gonna, like, I don't know, if I only had one, I wouldn't want to sell it.
Oh no, she loves to do a lot of creative things, and she just get this idea, and so she makes several of them. She doesn't really like, to make like, this is the one thing. So through making them, I think she's finding herself, that she connects, with the stones and make her feel good. And it definitely brightened up her day when you made the order.
Oh,
And, this is her way to save money for the college now that she's gonna go to. So it's a great way, because she says, Mom, what I'm gonna do? And I was like, well, why don't you open an Etsy shop?
smart.
And put it up there. So
Now,
thank you. No, she's happy.
find her? Is it just Eva Marquez on her name is Eva too, right?
Yeah, so Eva's Etsy store is Eva's Emporium CO.
How do I spell this? Let me just write it in the chat.
Eva's Emporium. How do you spell it? Eva's EVA apostrophe S. Emporium. EMERIUM
IRCO.
Yeah, I think that was her way, because I let her to create it herself, to give her, her own freedom and things to try.
This.
Eva's Emporium. I'm sorry, let me spell it again. EVASEMPORIUMCO
Okay.
apostrophe S.
All right.
I'm doing sure.
EM. Eva's. EM. How do you spell it?
PORIUM
O R I U N
and capital C and O.
capital C and O. Okay.
Mhm. I think that was her little track for the corporation. She's definitely not a corporation, but she sees herself as big one, so that's a good thing. She can definitely manifest that in the future.
Yeah, hopefully this is cool, and I think if you Google her too, you can find it. But
Yeah.
definitely, please make sure you go follow Eva and listen to all of her amazing downloads. If you're on Amazon, get her books. Also, you have your classes coming up on the 26th.
Yes. So the classes starting, I teach the 10-week classes of the solo healing, which start of this Tuesday. If you guys want to sign up, there are still a few places. It's kind of filling up. I teach them only 3 times a year because it takes a lot. And if you are in my class, I always tell people you have to feel it. You have to kind of feel that guidance. We become a soul family, quite a tight-knit soul family, and we have these ups and downs together. Sometimes last fall was quite a crazy ups and downs, but you get, by the end of those 10 weeks, transform. You do a lot of healing on yourself. This is what you want to do for the others, you definitely, if you practice, are capable to do so, to create your own business. And it was always important to me to teach something to people that if they really struggle, if they don't know what else to do and they have a calling for it, that they can invest a little bit of the money and make something out of themselves and pursue it as their own life calling. Because that's what happened to me when I started the cheers. Because $125, thank God I was so cheap. And because I didn't have money, I really, really, really struggled. And so I was grateful. And one of my life goals was always to give people a skills that they can create something out of nothing, because we all can.
And so how long are the classes? Is that like an hour class or 2 hours each day?
There are 2 hour classes. Yeah, because I talk a lot, as you, I think, have already realized.
And it's how many weeks?
It's for the 10 weeks. So it's held on the Tuesday, and the classes are held at 1 p.m. and the 7 p.m. on the Tuesday. So you can choose the 1 p.m. class to 7 p.m. class. If you guys are considering it, I encourage you go for the 7 p.m. class, because that is much smaller. The 1 p.m. is quite big right now already.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Eva, for coming on and making the time. Thank you. It was so amazing to finally, I've been following her for I think 2 years now on YouTube, watching her videos and sharing them. So I was so excited to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everything you do. And if there's one last thing I can share with you, what I felt like was this message for you. The road to the ascension is through the 2 basic energies. The one is love, and another one is the humor. So with what you do, you are leading people to the better place, to the ascension place, to the place that maybe you don't have to come back here on the earth if you don't want to do. Maybe you're going to have a fun on the other side. So you're doing a pretty good spiritual work, Lauren, and thank you for that.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you so much. Yes. All right, guys. Love you all.
Bye. I love you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday to your daughter, guys.